Well, hello, Patriots. How are we doing? Good morning. Had my, I stuck out my cough. Had my first, not my first chemo. Had first chemo of the week yesterday. Today's Tuesday morning, February 1st. Um, Chemo went fine. It was also my first day back to work. That was a little bit more exhausting than I thought it would be, which is weird because I don't have a physical job. I'm a machine operator, but I think it was stress actually, just trying to remember how to do things again that I haven't done for over 6 months, and that and just the excitement of it all too. I think maybe took a little bit bigger toll on me than what I expected. Um, still got my from my chemo day yesterday. Yes, I know my light bulb is out there. Actually, I unscrewed that because it was giving a terrible glare. But once again, we're just kind of putting some stories here on the YouTube channel. So uh, I'll probably be skipping around all over the place. But something that popped into my head the other day was I had a career in law enforcement. I miss it every day. It's what I wanted to do since I was 6 years old. I got to do it. I think I was pretty good at it. The only reason I'm not in law enforcement anymore is that I had transferred. My wife had transferred to the state of Maine for her paper career, and I was a police officer in Maine, and for 6 years, and then we moved back. And when I moved back, even though there was reciprocity between Maine and Ohio in that they recognize each other's training, Ohio has this little rule that they didn't fill me in on when I left, that if you leave the state of Ohio for more than 4 years, Ohio refuses to recognize any service or any training that you received in the state of Ohio. So the only thing they would recognize was my 2 weeks of academy in Maine. Can't be a cop on 2 weeks. Got to start over. You're 38 years old. All your departments are 35 and younger to hire, and civil service is 37 and younger to test. So your career just disappeared. Have a nice day. So I fought it for 2 years. At 40 years old, I had to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. I went through electrician school. Actually, I went into nursing school. I was about halfway through my LPN school when they changed all the all the student loan requirements and so forth, and all of a sudden things that I was supposed to get I couldn't get anymore, and I couldn't finish my nursing school, and which sucked because I had a 4.0 in my LPN school, and I was fast tracking to my RN school, which Kettering was going to pay for, and but it didn't happen. So what money I had in my pockets, I could afford electrician school. Went through a year of electrician school, worked as an electrician for a summer, was laid off. We were all laid off because of it was the Obama years, and we all got laid off on Labor Day weekend. As a matter of fact, they made us work the entire Labor Day weekend. Brought us into the office on either Monday or Tuesday because they made us work the whole weekend. That gave us our 40 hours for that week, and then Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, whenever it was, they brought us in and said, "Hey, you don't have a job anymore," and none of us has ever been called back. So I'm now a medical implant machinist at Norwood, and very happy with that job. I wish it paid more, but it gives me the ability to do things that I can't do with any other job or employer, and that I know of, and so I'm happy. It's a good trade-off. It provides for me. I'm just not rich, but so anyway, back to the law enforcement thing. When I got started in law enforcement, I actually went to school to be an engineer. I was 28 hours away from graduating with a bachelor's in industrial engineering technology at Ohio University when I had the talk with my dad in my garage that I just did not want to be an engineer, had no desire to be an engineer. And if anybody knows me, I have a thing about engineers. There's a big difference between theory and application that a lot of engineers miss. And so I don't get along with them. And I want to be a cop. That's all I wanted to be. And so what had happened was I used to shoot competitively, pistols. And I had a girlfriend that I taught how to shoot. And she had a little Browning high power that she used to shoot. And she showed up one day And there was another fella that had a pretty little girlfriend that shot, and my little girlfriend kicked his little girlfriend's butt, and his little girlfriend had been doing a lot longer than my girlfriend. So we, one of the local police captains, apparently there had been a shooting, and the local department was switching from revolvers to semi-automatic pistols. I was asked if I wanted to help some of these guys learn how to shoot a semi-automatic pistol, because it was getting down to the point where they could not qualify and their jobs were in jeopardy. And it was a kind of an on the side, under the table type of a thing. I agreed to do it, and those officers, after a couple weeks, I was able to get those officers to pass their qualification test. At that point, I worked at a pizza place in Athens that we delivered opium oil, Xanax, weed, and some other stuff, alcohol, with the pizzas. And the captain was wanting somebody in that place, and he had found him. So I was a snitch. And I became a confidential informant for Crime Stopping. And what happened is the captain, with any tips that because I'd fill out reports, they'd turn in the tips to, it was called Crime Stoppers Anonymous back then, and they would actually cut the captain a check for me for my tips. Well, then he knew I wanted to be a cop, and I had his government model 45, and that it was just stone stock. It wasn't really suitable for a duty weapon, to be quite honest. And so he asked if he could borrow my pistol one day, and I've always wanted to shoot one in 45, so I let him, he's the captain, I let him have it. And he had it for quite some time. I was getting kind of wanting my pistol back. And because I used it a little bit to shoot IPSC, not much. I had a high power, and I had a Model 19 Smith. And actually I shot a little bit with a Ruger Blackhawk 45 Colt when the round count was correct. And with a 16-inch barreled Model 94 Winchester and 45 Colt when the round count was correct, and I would compete against the ARs and the AKs and everything else, that lever gun, and made a lot of people mad every once in a while. So, but anyway, one day I call the captain up, and I was like, I was wanting to know if I could snatch my gun from you. And hey, yeah, matter of fact, I come on out. I got some errands to run. You can run some errands with me, and I got some things to pick up at the gunsmith, and absolutely. So I go out, and we jump in his little Ford Ranger, and we head out to the local gunsmith. And when we get out there, the local gunsmith, Don, he's like, hey, he said, perfect timing. He's like, I got this this pistol that I just put together. I need to take it to the range and test fire it, and got some nice young eyes here, because I was like, I don't know, 21, 20, something like that, 19. And so we got out to the range, and it's a sweet pistol, government model, 1991 slide and everything on it, and I got the Bomar sights and Videcki trigger, and just the usual, and nothing fancy whatsoever. I think it was an 80 grit bead blast finish and cold blued, and the gun it looked rugged. It was a good looking pistol. And so we take it out, and I shoot it, and I don't know, 25 feet or something like that, and there's this ragged hole, just one hole, and after about 3 rounds I got one hole. I'm thinking, man, what the heck am I doing wrong? And I look at it, and Donnie just taps me on the shoulder. He's like, just keep shooting it. Just keep shooting it. So I keep shooting it, and finally the hole opens up a little bit, and I think I had 7 rounds. I think I only had 7 or 8 round mag in it, and well, obviously it's either 7 or 8 rounds. But I put 7 or 8 rounds, in the same daggone hole at 25 feet. Just same hole offhand. And what do you think of this thing? I was like, this pistol is freaking awesome now. And the loads were pretty. It was a 230 plus P load that we were shooting out of a Hornady, I believe, and just trying to loosen the gun up or whatever, since it was all brand new, I guess. And but the gun shot phenomenal. And so with that, they're like, so you like that pistol? I was like, I love this pistol. I was like, well, it's a good thing, because you're taking it home. And I "What do you mean I'm taking it home?" He said, "Well, that's your pistol." I said, "I can't afford this pistol." He's like, "No, that's your pistol." And of course, I'm just completely stupid because people don't usually do that, you know. And what had happened was the captain had been pooling all this money he'd been getting from Crime Stoppers Anonymous and preparing me to go through the academy. I had over a case of ammunition, 45 ACP that he had purchased me, and he built this pistol for me. It was my pistol, and it's 1991 slide, Bowmar rear sight, Maryland Gunworks front sight. The Videcki trigger. It's been railed. It's been everything. The gun is absolutely perfect, and I will tell you, and all I can do is tell you the truth. I have never had a malfunction with this firearm that was not ammunition related, and usually because of my hand load, something short, and I've won the Maine State. Was it the Pine Tree State Championship bullseye competition with this thing a couple times when I lived in Maine. I shot it in IPSC. I've never done the IDPA thing. I shot USPSA. I shot it down in Wellston and Jackson back in the day when they used to have their PPC, Practical Police Combat something or whatever it's called. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Just kind of figured that this video would make no sense unless we had the star of the show. So, she is a cleared weapon. You can see that. I can see that. But this is my girl right here. Still have her. Still got the same grips on this thing that I've had. Man, let's see, we had this thing built in like 1991. Actually, because that was it's got the 1991 I don't know if you can see it, A1 slide on it. I guess the entire slide is hardened and was hardened in the 1991s instead of just around the bushing. So it was milled out and everything. Actually, I just replaced this sight this week. I had this gun underneath my workbench in the gun room here, and it was sitting on a magazine, on a paper, read it magazine, and the pistol fell off and slid off, and it landed right on the rear sight and actually folded the rear sight over. It landed on concrete, and it was done. And thank you, Ed Brown, because Ed Brown still makes the exact same sight. Because actually, I kind of misspoke. It's not a Bowmar. It's I think they used to call it an EAA Super Sight or something. But Ed Brown still carries the exact same sight so that it fits my frame cut perfectly. Slid it right in there, and I have my pistol back. But she's got, you can tell she's got some wear to her. She's been carried quite a bit. Lots of rounds through this old girl, and but this is my baby. And this doesn't leave the family for anybody that means anything to. This never, ever leaves the family. This old pistol has saved my life more than any man on 2 feet, I'll tell you that. And we have been in a couple skirmishes together, and she always went bang. So anyway, to get back to the story, I'm getting sidetracked here, and I'm incredibly long on my video. So at that point, Captain Beasley, the captain offered me this pistol and cases of ammunition. Had already had me set up to, back then you had to have to be certified, you had to be, I can't remember the freaking chemo, man. You had to carry a commission. Okay, a commission basically means that you're hired by a department. Well, the only way you get hired by a department is you had to be certified, which means you went through the academy and you passed. So you had to be certified to be commissioned. You had to be commissioned to be certified. So what we did is we did ghost commissions. So I worked for Chansey PD for free, and in return for them allowing me, in return for me working for them for free, they gave me what was called a ghost commission so that I could go through the academy and get certified. And then once I get certified, I could look for a job and find a job and go about things that way. So that's how I got started in law enforcement. And it was funny because the reason Captain did all this for me was he had spoken to me, and he knew I wanted to go through the academy, and I wanted to be a police officer. And I was always a wheel gun guy. And when I was getting ready to go through the academy, I had two particular wheel guns that I wanted to carry as a police officer, and one was a 5-inch 41 Magnum, and Smith & Wesson, and model 58 or 57, model 57, and the other was a model 25 45 Colt 5-inch, and there was no way that he was going to go out and spend the money for 1,000 rounds of 41 Magnum or 45 Colt. So he figured he better fix this thing up and make it duty quality, I guess, and make sure that it saved my life. And so that's how I ended up in police academy. That's how I ended up in law enforcement. And actually, we got a few more stories about that too. So, but that's all for today. That's the story of the gun that I've probably owned the longest, and I don't even have a name for this thing. She's my girl. But I am a Colt government model person. That's me. I also carry Glocks and whatever. Good pistol is good pistol. Good car is a good car. But there is not much that is sexier than a semi-automatic pistol than this dude right here. So that's it. I'll see you guys on the range. Stay grumpy.